pulling out some exclusions and some perils that are covered and going a little bit deeper into those because these are things that I don't think talk about that much. So I thought I'd kind of put that spin on it. Now, this is a peril, tearing apart. Now, what does that mean? We have that peril of tearing apart. And so tearing apart means the cost to open up or tear apart part of the building to find and fix a covered problem inside. So, for example, when I told you I saw that water spot on the drywall, and then we, opened that up, basically, tearing apart and looked, and we saw the drips, coming in, and that's not covered because it was not sudden and accidental. That tearing apart would not be covered, right? That's just something we have to pay for. And that's a tough thing that can happen. But if you tear something apart like that, and to get to that particular area, then it would be covered. So the tearing apart is covered because it's the cost to assess the problem. But again, it has to be a covered peril. Okay, if it's like that drip that's happening over a period of time, that's not covered. But if you have a pipe that bursts suddenly inside of a wall and you can't fix it unless you cut into the drywall, or a lot of times I've seen clients that have had to remove their flooring to get to it, then the cost to tear open the wall or floor is covered. So it doesn't cover the pipe itself if it's worn out or broke, because remember, there's no coverage for maintenance or a hot water heater. It kind of goes with that hot water heater leaking as well. But it does cover the damage caused by the covered peril if it is something that happened sudden and accidental. Okay, so pipe leaks behind the wall, that would be covered if it was sudden, right? And so cutting open the drywall is covered. That's your tearing apart. Of course, fixing the pipe, if the pipe was something that was wear and tear or very old pipe, it would not be covered. But the water damage that happened to the wall, the floor, and like I said, is sudden, yes, that would be covered. That's why we have to be careful, when we're talking to clients about these particular situations, because it seems like every situation I've had with a water peril, whether it was covered or not covered, is very unique, right? And so we have to make sure that really is for the adjusters to go in and make sure that is sudden, it's accidental, that type of thing. What about a slab leak? A pipe under a concrete foundation leaks. They have to break through the slab. So again, it's not going to cover for the pipe itself there. So insurance covers sudden and accidental damage. That's one thing that you hear quite a bit from adjusters, for example, and you see this quite a bit in the insurance contract. You can't fix damage without getting to it, so the policy pays to open that up, and that's really what tearing apart is. We'll pay to get to the problem, but not fix the worn out part itself. So the resulting damage that it covered, that it did, like if it warped floors, that type of thing. But the pipe itself, if it's worn out, they won't cover it. But again, another thing that has to happen is it has to be sudden and accidental there.